Hello everyone! Welcome to the very first episode of Dinkum Talks. And today we have such a special guest, none other than James Bendon, the creator of Dinkum. So James, how are you? How you doing today?
Good, thanks. Thank you for having me, Jose.
I'm just so excited and honored and just amazed that you're here. Talk to you is it's been so great. And everybody, they saw that video of the announcement, and we got questions for you. We want answers, and we can't wait for you to share everything that you can. And we understand that you can't share everything, so we know that.
It's my pleasure, and yeah, I might not be able to answer everything, but I'm ready. I'm ready to do my best.
Okay, so James, we all excited, we are all ready, and I think one of the first thing that we would like to know is how are you feeling after the spring update, after everything that you've seen, the community, how it was received. How are you feeling?
Uh, really good. The response to the spring update was a surprise. It it was really fun just watching everyone discover everything. I, I I love watching people play the game. And I like to. I try and not give hints, but I can't help it because I just want people to see it. You know what I mean? And seeing all the new builds, everything is. It's just been. It all makes it worth it. You know, like the all the work that I did, and it paid off. It feels like it paid off, and everyone seemed to really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%. I think we are all really enjoying it. There's so many things. Did you ever imagine that we were going to use the ramps to create buildings?
No, no, not at all. I mean, but there's a lot of things I don't imagine that you guys do. So yeah, it's. I'm just happy that there's another tool in the tool belt for you guys.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So excited. If everything that you gave us in the spring update, from water beds to the ramps to all the new flowers and the trees, we just been able to make so much more be- be- beautiful things. More beautiful builds, more beautiful realistic stuff with the marble, with the pillars, and yeah. So it's been so great. Okay, so we just finished the spring update. Everybody's been building. We are all creating. So so what's so what's next for you? After the spring update, what are your plans? What are you working on? Uh, where's Decom heading after the spring update? What's next?
Well, there's the on the roadmap. I have the summer update. Very very similar kind of ideas. I want to make the seasons feel different um, as well, but without uh, changing the weather. Because we don't have the luxury of snow and leaves falling from the trees like in Australia. So that's my main goal at the moment. But I think a little bit of winter um, might slip into this summer update. So maybe the update might need a rename.
Okay. So yeah. So basically, you just need a little more time for the looks of it.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of work still left to do, and I've also been working on optimization to make the game run a bit better. So, especially in islands like yours, I wasn't expecting people to put quite as many uh, objects so close together. So, when you have a really complex island, the game starts to run slower and slower. So, I've been working on optimization um, as well as the update.
I think that's really good. Some of the islands that I've been, I've been to Stefafas Island. I went to Justin, not to Logano Island, and that's one of their biggest questions that they had is how much more would the game will keep getting more optimized for computers and all that. That way they don't require such a powerful computer. So I think a lot of people are gonna really love what you just answered that you guys are working in behind the scenes of that. So that's awesome. I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we know that the next update is gonna be moved up a little more down the road. But would you still consider that more of like a summer update, or you think it's gonna cross into the fall time?
So the updates, it's unfortunate because the updates were just named after the season, and they took the first two updates took a little bit longer than I expected. So they ended up lining up with the Northern Hemisphere. Um, so that wasn't intentional. So then they're not really supposed to be in the summer, uh, if that makes sense. You know, because it obviously would come out in winter in Australia.
That's
Um,
right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I it's going to be a little bit longer. There's a lot I want to do. I want to make sure the update is as good as the spring update was. I want to, but it might also be. Uh, I might have to do a smaller little update in between, like I did with the seasonal, the Christmas one, um, just to hold people over. Hopefully, they can forgive waiting a little bit longer.
And hey, that Christmas seasonal update, it was a hit. That hit, it was so good. It was just perfect to give us something. We were all enjoying it with a little quest, and it was perfect. It was perfect, and everybody loved all those items. So yeah, a little summer update, maybe a small one with specific summer theme items. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I hope so. I just hope people
And
can forgive taking a little bit more time.
oh, and I'm pretty sure in the comments once this video goes out, you're gonna see that everybody's gonna be so happy. We all prefer for you to have the time that you need, and so the updates when they come out ready and they come out as good as possible, just like what we saw in Christmas, just like we saw in spring. So we know that you care for the game, you care for the content, you care for the items that you're putting in the game and the mechanics. So it's always gonna be worth the wait.
Thanks. Yeah, the Dinkum community is really nice, and I appreciate. Very wholesome.
Okay, so since we're in the questions of updates and items and all that, um, are you planning to add like for future content for future just releases, and it doesn't even have to be an update? Are you planning to now and then maybe surprise us with little small update, kind of like what you were saying, with just extra items here and there, or more theme items, or you still trying to keep everything kind of in an Australia setting, still for this game?
The primate, like the island that you're on, will always be Australian themed. But I for decorations, I'm fine with taking influence from other countries and cultures. I just think that it makes the island, if you are doing decorating, it makes the island look more interesting, and you can set up theme zones. But animals and items, I think, like tools and things you find, they'll always be Australian themed. I think that's pretty important. It's very dinkum.
I think that's awesome because I've been speaking with uh, different creators that are also from Australia. I've done island tours from people that are from Australia, and we have those conversations. Like they do have Chinatown, they do have a like a little German community and stuff like that. So and that's something that we were always wondering: will Dinkum ever incorporate the items, kind of like that way we can create our own little Chinatown, or maybe a little German community style of furniture or buildings. And so it's kind of great to hear. I mean, we don't know exactly how you will incorporate that in the future, but it's kind of cool to know that it's something that's in your mind, that it possibly could come into the game. So I think that's really great. I think you're gonna get a lot of people very excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even the fireplace behind you, they're not commonplace in Australia. Well, not where I live. Um, so yeah, that's definitely like a an overseas influence there.
Yeah, and I think items is in a way is such a big important part of this game. I think even before we even get to the questions of the community Dinkum is a lot of them are about items. Like, are we gonna get items, more items that we already have in multiple colors? Like, oh, we already got the umbrella. Are we gonna get that umbrella in different colors? Or the towel, are we gonna get it in different colors? Or the same furniture, the lights, like, it seems like items are very important to the community, and it sounds like that's something that you are noticing, and it's becoming more important for you too as a developer.
Yeah, definitely. I think I underestimated how much people would like building in Dinkum when I released it. To me, it was a town building survival game, but I see more and more people decorating, and I've kind of realized that like that's the longevity of the game. That's where the end game is for a lot of players. I mean, a lot of players like to go on adventures and they like to visit the mines, and um, you know they like to just explore the island. But in the end, I think a lot of people like to make their town feel like their town, and that's the part of the game that is special to a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're 100% correct. People are, they wanted to keep decorating, and it's never gonna be enough. And I know, I see that as a community. Even myself, I know when I do my videos and I do my Dinkum adventure videos, I mention my hopes and my dreams and where I want the game to be one day, and it's always comes down to the items. It comes to the item placement or item designs, and even having the same items that you already created. Sometimes we want them in all the colors, in all the woods, in every variety, and I know that takes time, but it's so good to see that and to hear that from you, that is something that you're noticing, is something that is good for the game. I think it's something that's going to be very important to keep the game more alive, and to keep it going as long as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So in that topic, and you mentioned something a little bit earlier, is that the way we are playing the game right now, I think a lot of people are playing it more of a designer and decorating, that style of game. How that has affected your development process, the way you're gonna approach Dinkum for future content, for the next updates and the ones that you have planned, or that you already have planned in the future, but now that you see how people are playing it, how is that affecting the way you are developing the game?
So my core philosophy has slightly changed. The way I look at it now is Dinkum is an adventure game that you go on adventures to get decorations, and then you return home, and that way, um, you can still like. I want players to explore. That's my favorite part of video games, personally. But I think the reward for exploration will be, further decorating and more NPCs joining your town. So I think that's kind of the core loop that I've realized a little bit too late, maybe. I didn't really realize it when the game was released, but I think that's in essence what Dinkum is, and that's kind of how it's changed my philosophy. So um, there weren't as many items as I wanted. I had to make a compromise in the spring update. I think I put more exploration in that one rather than items. There were new items, but um, I think I need to hit a happy medium where the adventure uh, results in more items, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense because a lot of people have enjoyed going down to the mines. I think people are actually, for what I can tell and for what I can see, people are really enjoying that second level of the mine more than the first one. I think people still don't like the bats, even though the second mine seems more dangerous, but it does feel more fun. And a lot of people, I know there's a portion of the community that, the mines are a little stressful and there is a little hard sometimes. But I do see that a lot of people are even braving the mines because that new mine that you created is very fun. It feels like a dungeon crawler style of game in a way, and people are been discovering the builder camera to actually go to the mine. Has made a little more accessible, a little more easy to play. So in that aspect of how fun it is to get the items that we need, so then we can come back up and creating. Yeah, I think it's 100% correct. It is fun to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And that the build camera in the mines is my wife discovered that like she did a 60-hour session the week before the game came out, just finding bugs and just playing it. She'd play it every night, um, and that's one of the things I'd never seen the other testers do that. And I watched her, and she said, "Oh, well, I just put it in this view so I can see the whole mines. I can see the enemies coming towards me." So I like to tell people in streams, but I mean, everyone's figured it out now. So it's good to hear that it's helped some people.
Well, and the great part about that story you told that story in a stream, one time, and I was there in that stream. That was the first time I ever heard it. I never thought about using the builder's camera, and then I started going more down to the mine because of the builder camera view. I started playing it that way because I heard it through you, and then ever since I've been the first thing I tell people that they find the mines too hard is to use the builder's camera, and then you can see the reaction that, oh man, that made it so much easier, so much comfortable to see. I can see what's coming, and so yeah, it's 100% correct. But it's been amazing because you told that story in a stream, and because of that story, we different creators like myself, we've been able to spread that story and tell other people about it.
Well, it is a little bit ironic because the builder's camera was how the game was for the first 2.5 or maybe 3 years of development. You couldn't look at the sky or the horizon.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so that's how I designed the original mines, to be played like that. And then once I put in the other camera, the free camera, I I stopped playing like that myself, and I was surprised when my wife discovered it.
That's so awesome. It's so awesome to hear those little side stories and how even from the for 3 years you were playing the game in development in one specific camera view, and then it changed. And what made you change your mind from that camera view, the way you had it for 3 years, to this free one that we have now?
Uh, I The main one was I just wanted to be able to see the sky. In a lot of games, like a blue sky, it makes the world feel. It's hard to describe, but it's something I personally really enjoy. I think the original Animal Crossing got away with it because you could see the reflections of the sky in the water, but I felt like if I could do it, why not? And I had to make a lot of changes to the game, but I think it was worth it because it makes the world feel a lot bigger, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does true. It was so free and coming, especially when I started playing Dinkum, being able to jump and being able to do some of the things that we can do in this game compare like from people that have come from Animal Crossing or similar games as this, to be able to actually be able to rotate the camera in the whole 3D space all around and being able to walk and jump. It was really fun. So it's true. There's a lot of this type of games that it's always that top down view, and it's always great to hear new people that come into Dinkum because then they're not used to this camera at first, but once they get used to it, they love it because you have so much freedom to look and to do everything that you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, James. So now in the announcement video that we did, I had a lot of people from the community, Dinkum community. I asked them to ask questions to see if which ones were you willing to answer, and I know you looked at some of them, and I got some of them here, and there were so many that I was able to condense them all into different topics. So, and that's what we're gonna try to do is just answer. We have about 13 topics to go through, and see which ones you can answer and what you can give us, and let's see. Okay,
Sure.
so the first topic is people would like to know, do you have any plans for more vehicles, type of vehicles, maybe cars, trucks, submarine, different type of boats? Is there anything in the works for that?
Yes, I have plans for two new vehicles. I don't know if both will be in the next update though.
Oh,
But I think I can spoil one. So one that I think will definitely be the update, it should all be fine, is a Ute, or I guess what would maybe a pickup truck is what an American would call it.
oh, okay, pickup truck. Oh, nice. Oh, I think that got me excited, and I think that's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be very exciting. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's a little good little teaser for us. All right. Okay, and when it comes to so that's the vehicle. So the next another topic that people are asking a lot is, are you still planning to add more fruits or more plants, different type of trees, different type of flora, and also in that specific subject of plants, also maybe more flower boxes, more different type of vases, anything in that section that related? Are there more plans for that kind of stuff in the future?
Yeah, I think they can make an island look uh, diverse. So the jacaranda tree, I think, has already made a difference to a lot of people's islands, which is an introduced species. So I think going ahead, I don't think any will be naturally growing, except maybe flowers in certain seasons. But different types of trees might be available in coming updates.
Oh, that's awesome. And yes, I mean everything you gave us on the spring update, it was more than what we ever expected, especially when it came to the trees and the new flowers, the river flower, the lily bushes, and the lily pads, being able to harvest those, and the texture and the quality of those were so good. It has made such an impact when we want to do like really elegant builds. So it's gonna be so exciting to see what other trees are you gonna bring, what kind of other plants, what kind of other flowers, and what kind of colors. Because yeah, it definitely has made our islands in different people's island feel very unique, just with that alone, just with flowers and trees.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's also going back to what we said earlier, like it's a reward for, you can see the difference between someone that has explored, you can see their island and how diverse it is compared to like the base, like naturally spawning terrain. So I think um, I think more plants. They're my favorite things in games anyway. So like I love making the plants as well. So
Okay.
definitely more plants coming.
Well, that's awesome because yeah, definitely people love them. I can tell you that for a fact. People love all the new plants and trees, and they want more. I mean, you can never do enough of that. I think that's always going to be a big hit. But in the same topic of plants, I know some people ask about maybe some other type of rocks, maybe different sizes, maybe different colors, uh, something up in that relation. You think we will see a different type of rock in the future with the rock one, or maybe another type of one that we can do another type of rock?
Yeah, I don't think that's impossible. I need to find a creative solution of how to create it. But yeah, different type of wand, that's a possibility.
Awesome. That's I'm in that camp. I think rock, having the rock one, such a surprise. It became I can never decide which one um I love more. I think waterbeds will always win for me when it comes to the spring update. I think the waterbeds, because how much the landscape changed, because being able to do waterfall or river or ponds in different layers, but also being able to add rocks at the bottom of waterfall, add gardens. It also changed the texture of what we can do. So it's always been so hard to pick which one for me has been the most favorite, but still feel like waterbeds are number one. Then the rock one was the second. But out of all the surprises that I was never expecting, the rock one was my most surprise and the best one for me that came to the spring update.
Thank you. I like it too. I like the way it looks and the sound it makes, everything. And it was a very simple item to put in, but um, I didn't want to. I didn't want people just to be able to place rocks for some reason. I don't know why I told myself that would be bad, even though you could probably just hold rock in your hand and put it down, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's like magic, and it just works. It just works, and it brings happiness to everybody. So I think the way you brought it to the game, I think is great and it's perfect, and I love it so much. But okay, so if we continue in that topic when it comes to items and rocks and placement, there were a few that I had to put them all together in this category. People would like to know if maybe it's possible to put things in Dinkum in the half square. So instead of placing it here, moving it just half a square. Could that ever be a possibility in the mechanics right now in the game? Or would that never be able to be done in the game?
Uh,
And I don't know if I
I
explain myself when I.
no, I understand.
Okay,
I
okay.
understand. I've never thought like um, right now it's impossible, but it's not it's not impossible forever. It would need a lot of work to figure out a way to do that with the way I have the world set up.
Mm-hmm.
For now, I will say no, not going to be possible. But
Not to expect it
maybe
anytime soon, yeah.
yeah, but maybe I can find a creative solution. I said rivers and waterfalls wouldn't be possible, and I there's kind of a workaround for that. So maybe one day.
Okay. And now on the topic of rivers, that since you brought it up, uh, are we ever gonna be able to stack water beds? Is that still something that so we can kind of make them deeper, for just for so we can make like pools with water beds and stuff like that, or that's still not something not to expect at any time yet because you got so many other things planned for the game.
I don't think stacking them will be possible, but possibly like a different recipe for a deeper one might be possible.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh, the only problem is you can't swim, so I would need to figure that one out. If you can place a deep waterbed, it would make sense that you could swim in it.
Okay, yeah, because it's cool to I love the idea of having deeper water beds. I think that's just for a creative aspect so we can have more depth and we can use lily pads and have create more depth in our pond or a water fountain that we want to create in a higher level. I think that's fantastic, and I think everybody will take that hands down. The swimming part, because I know I've heard that many people wanting to make swimming pool in a higher level, but so the only way that we can swim will be with water beds. But yeah, but it makes sense what you're saying. But I still like the your first idea. If that other one can't happen, I do like the deeper waterbed idea. I think that's gonna be fun. Okay, the next big question that I noticed that people ask is the multiplayer. Everybody's been having fun with the multiplayer. I think one of the biggest strengths in Dinkum right now is being able to play, decorate, build racetrack, jet ski tracks, build mini games, and people want to be able to invite more people. Is that still ever going to be a possibility, or is that still something that's still because the world mechanics, where it's not yet, it's not in the picture to work on that?
So the player limit itself is purely down to like performance. So like good computers can have a lot of people in the world. Like I've I've played with 8 people, and my computer was my computer's pretty good, and it was chugging. So I'm hoping that the optimization work that I'm doing will maybe let more people uh, into the world. Um, there are other problems. There are like smaller, tiny problems that are easy to solve that
Mm-hmm.
are based on the limit of players, but um, it's not impossible. There's also I've seen a mod that lets people do it. So if you're really really keen and want to try it out, there is a way to play with more people in Dinkum.
Okay, okay, awesome. Okay, so the next question that I put together in this topic is we're gonna talk about the mines. Uh, uh, a big portion of the community, there's a section that they find the mines difficult. If they play solo, they wanna get the item. They find the mines to be a little bit stressful for them to go down there to grab the items that they need, and then to keep repeating that process. Is there a plan in the future, maybe with Jimmy, another NPC that maybe we use permanent points or dinks? It will cost a lot of money because we're doing it, getting those items from the mines in a different way. Will that ever come into the game? Is that something that you think you will add eventually?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. The I'm in two minds of it. I want people to be able to access the stuff, but I want the mines to have rewards for people that do want to go there. So it's a hard thing to balance, but it's something I'm aware of, and it's been brought up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've made a little bit of a compromise in the last one with Jimmy sells stuff from the first level mines.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a way to gate it that that players that are in endgame that haven't gone to the mines, maybe they can you know they can get those items. But I want to find a way that doesn't negate the rewards for the people who do like the mines.
Yeah, yeah, I think finding that balance, like you said, is important. I think, and I heard many people they don't mind if they need to save up a bunch of permit points, because I know there's mods out there, and people can make the mines very tame, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people that don't want to mess with the gaming file. They don't understand that. Even if that option's there, a lot of people are afraid to mess with that. So I think what your answer is really good. It's just finding that balance that makes sense, because I think a lot of people still have a lot of fun in the mines. I think the majority of the people, especially in the new mines, are having such a great time, especially going down there with friends. It's been really fun. So it's a few people that do need it. It feels like just a portion of the community kind of needs that. But I think if you make it in such a way, like you said, that is a balance, I think it'd be a good idea to add into the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so one of the other ones compiled into this category is more more tile, more pathing, more different type of bricks. Maybe bricks going in another direction, textures for creating walls and all that. Maybe tiles are just primary colors. Is that something that we can expect in future updates to come? Like it seems like people really want more ways to add more color to the islands in the pathing or texture, just anything like that. Is that something you think will be coming into the game?
Yes, yeah, definitely. That's one of the easier things to put in, and I love it. I have some ideas for some uh, colored tiles, but um, I don't want to make them too boring. But maybe just flat colors. Maybe the community would like that.
Yeah, I think you would you I think the community would never say no to anything you give us if they have texture or they're just flat, because I think you're always gonna be surprised what we are gonna use them for and what are we gonna create with them. So so I think we'll take anything you give us, but it's awesome that you already been thinking about it and having ideas and coming up with something. So I think that's gonna be so exciting, and I think everybody's gonna be really enjoying that and hearing that from you. Okay, so the next thing is in the topic is the Christmas items. So right now, the way the Christmas item is set up, we have to actually wait for Christmas season to get here, so people can actually get those items. So is there a plan in the future somehow that people can get those items without having to set their computer clocks into the future to activate the event?
I've had an idea for an item that could perhaps summon Nick. Um, but I think, yeah, making it accessible, like, it's fine. I think, the time's passed from the last season, so it's fine for people to have those items whenever they like. So don't quote me on it, but hopefully in the next update.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. I think more people are gonna get excited about that because people love the Christmas items, and people that just start playing the game, they're like, "Where you get that umbrella? Where did you get that towel?" And they just want that, you know. And then in the question again about items, you have already a big catalog in items, right? We got the towels, the umbrellas, the chairs, and all that. Do you see yourself recoloring a lot of the same items that you already got in different colors? Kind of like the street lamps. We got it in black, but do you see yourself making that lamp in white, in bronze, maybe in that multi-path green as well? Like a lot of the items that you have, they're already so good. Like if we can make them in different colors, that will open such a big door to keep decorating and improving the island in a different theme.
Yeah, I hope so. I need to think of a more efficient way to. I have some ideas that will let you paint items, but these are just ideas. I have not started working on them, so I don't. I want to be clear with that. That it might not be in the next update, but being able to even tint the items, I think, can bring a lot to uh, people's decorations and islands.
Oh yeah, I think one in that question about coloring items or anything, being able to color things in the game is the big lettering. The like right now we have Dinkum Talks in the background. Those letters, a lot of people would like to color them. So is that part of the plan too, to be able to color those letters in the future?
Yeah, hopefully the idea I have is you could do it to any placeable object, but um, the way that I have the chests and the crates set up, they each have an individual item uh, in the like a tile item and an inventory item. So that takes a lot of uh, like takes a lot of work. So doing it for the 26 letters in the alphabet, it would have been, would have had to create like 500 items, and it was I didn't want to spend too much time doing that. I wanted the spring update to come out, so
Yeah.
hopefully in the future, yeah.
Okay, and that's something great, and something that I like that I'm hearing and that you clarify a couple times is all of these are ideas. They're in the plan, they're in the roadmap, but there's so many things that I know we all want and that you're working on that I know it's gonna take time for a lot of this stuff that we're talking about to come into the game. So yeah, so we understand that, James. So don't feel pressure, you know. But it's cool to hear that you do have plans for stuff that the community wants. So it's so awesome to hear. Okay, so the next big one that people are asking is about slowing down time. There's many people that want to do everything in one day. They want to talk to all the NPC, they want to do all the quests in the bulletin board, and they want to do all the farming. But they do feel like the time is too short for them during the day. So a lot of people would like maybe an item, just like the pocket watch, that we can fast forward time. Maybe that it can slow it down a bit. Do you think that could be something that could be added to the game for the future?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Part of these kind of games, in my opinion, is time management. So, you can't always do everything in one day, and that's how it. That's one of the choices you have to make during the day is like, what am I going to do today? But I think for late game and end game players, I think just like the pocket watch, it's not unrealistic for an item to be that does that for them. Um, but it would be probably harder to obtain than the pocket watch.
Ooh, so we had to do a special quest. We have to go on our journey to find it. That'd be cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so the next question in this category is about animals. Are we planning to add more farming animals or maybe more wildlife? And the biggest request is still koalas. Is koalas are ever gonna come to Dinkum?
I'm not gonna comment on koalas, but more farm animals and wildlife will definitely be in all future updates, whether they're enemies or passive mobs. Um, I think they bring a lot. They make the game feel more alive, and they're besides trees, they're one of my favorite things to put in the game as well. I love animating them and making them behave, giving them unique like abilities or attacks. Yeah, so definitely, definitely.
Oh yeah, I think farming is still I see people create amazing farm, amazing just with all the animals. They people love it. They just farming is one of those things that a lot of people just play income still for the farming. They like to harvest. They like to create crops. So in the topic of farming, uh, are you still planning to add more farming items, maybe more farming buildings, maybe more farming equipment, other type of tools to even if it's for decorating. A lot of people would like to see hay added to the game for so they can create like more of a farm atmosphere. Are you
Yeah.
still thinking in that about items that are just related to farming?
Well, I hadn't thought of decorating farmer items, so that's a good idea. I'll put that on my list. The
All
hay
right,
idea.
hey, that's
Um,
good.
but definitely, I think the the animals each having their own house is a little bit confusing. So if I introduce new farm animals, I think they would use the same like the animal den or the stall or the coop um, in the future, just so you wouldn't have to create lots and lots of different houses for different animals. Um, but yeah, more decorations that you can place around the farm. I think that's a great idea.
And then that you actually hit something important there about the animal housing. Do you think and I know you mentioned that maybe we are able gonna be able to recolor a lot of placeable items, but when it comes to the farming houses for the animals, you think that also those will be able to recolor? Because I know some people would like to see maybe a little more beat up chicken houses or maybe in different colors so they all don't look the same. That they would like to see them or kind of like you said, maybe we just get to paint them and then we can have the chicken houses in different colors just to make a little more coloring on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm pretty conscious about that because I think even changing the color of the house might make you more attached to one chicken, if that makes sense. So that's that's definitely something I'm interested in doing.
Awesome, because yeah, because I think as you've seen, we are everybody's islands being different, and I think the more options when it comes to color, I think is so important because if, even the silo is a we love the silo. We're using the silo in different type of builds, but being able to have the silo maybe in the future in white, in red, so so people would like to make a, a farm that's just in that big red color, just kind of like a traditional farm or something like that. So I think being able to recolor those items are gonna be amazing. It's gonna bring a whole different feel to the game, and still using the same item. It's just being recolored. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, James. Well, I think we only got one more question to go from the community that I was able to put in one category, and is we're about to hit the 1 year anniversary of Dinkum in early access. If there's something planned, do you have ideas planned? Maybe a little celebration, maybe a little special gift, maybe a little item in the future for us?
I hadn't even thought about it until I did actually read that question, and I think it's a great idea. So I'll have to have a think on it on what could be, you know, what I could do for the the anniversary or the Dinkum's first birthday, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah, I love that idea, and I yeah,
Yeah,
I have to plan something now.
okay. I'm excited for that because yeah, that's around the corner. So it's so exciting. Well, James, I want to say thank you so much for coming to Dinkum Talks, very first episode. Uh, Hopefully, this is something that we're gonna see more creators and small and big are gonna be coming talking about your game. You know, one of the other things that I do wanna talk about just for a little bit is how the game has changed so many people's life. If you through all those comments, so many people wanna give thanks for you creating this game, this was wonderful game that has made people feel their lives more relaxed. They have found a peace in a hectic world. They've been able to just enjoy and relax. They've been able to meet new people, new friends, you know, in chat, and now they're playing together. It's amazing when we read those comments, and it's so true. You know, even me, my life has changed because of this game. You know, doing this, talking to you, talking to other people. You know, Dinkum has really changed so many people's life, and we all as a community, we all want to say thank you for creating this game and that you're still supporting the game, want to create more content for the game, and we just want to say thank you for everything.
That's too kind. I want to say thank you to everyone that has played Dinkum. I can't believe, um, these types of games are my favorite types of games, and I can't believe that there are people that play the one that I made. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you to people like yourself, Jersey, who are making content for it, and spreading the love as it would.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I'm honored. I love this game. I know I've been saying it lately. I want this game to be one of the greats, depending how far you want to take this game. But yeah, I love it. Is there anything else? Anything you want to tell the community? Maybe a little surprise, maybe a little hint, maybe something, or are we good?
Uh, I don't want to. No, no. I'll be
Okay,
quiet
okay.
now.
You be quiet. Sounds good. Sorry, guys, I could not get anything out. Okay. Well, James, thank you so much for coming once again to Dinkum Talks. Hopefully, uh, this will continue and you will have fun watching other content creators coming into here to talk about your game.
Thank you very much for having me, and yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Subscribe to Jersey.
Thank you, James.